Hi guys, my name is Anuj Jindal and this session is for understanding or analyzing the English English test 1 which was made active or which was shared on 22nd June 2021. First of all, let me go through the directions once again and then we will start with the actual analysis of the test. Okay. First of all, if you are preparing for RBI or NABARD, then the time period given to the students is 1 hour 30 minutes. If you're preparing for SEBI, then the time period is 60 minutes and not 90 minutes. Okay, so that time period varies. This test, although has been given only to NABARD and RBI students, but in case SEBI students also want to appear in this test and take this test, they can, but they have to keep in mind that the time period for them is 60 minutes. Now, the things that you are required to do before actually taking the test or writing the test. This is only for English test and not for other descriptive tests. Number one, for essays, you have to prepare all the topics by researching upon them. For example, there are three essays here. So you have to research upon all the three essays, uh, make all the research points, structure your essay, structure a very detailed article on the same, and put it in a file. The objective is because the objective is to help you revise at a later date. For example, 6 months down the line, if you're revising the same topic, then you don't want to do the same research again, right? Whatever facts you discovered, whatever arguments you discovered, whatever good introductions you discovered, whatever good conclusions you discovered, you don't want to do that research again. In order to help you not repeat the same cycle, it's important that you do that research now and put it in one file on your laptop. It's very important. Okay. Otherwise, no matter how many essays you write, you will not be able to replicate your understanding, your knowledge from these topics in the final test. Okay, that is the objective. The focus of this test is twofold: prepare you for the final test, help you to prepare as many essays as possible. For example, we give you 10 tests, that means 30 essays. Along with that, let's say 10 more essays are given as sample essays. You have to make sure that you're done with the research of all these 40 essays. If you don't do that, then no matter how much you practice or prepare, you will not be able to replicate it in the final examination. Secondly, writing is the best method of practicing essay writing, or for that matter any kind of answer writing. Therefore, you have to start writing. You have to begin now, and this is the best way for you to start writing, and then I will evaluate your essays. Keeping the second focus in mind, prepare all the essay topics by researching online and then take a gap of 3 4 hours before writing the test. The third point here is taking a gap. For example, uh, the three essays that are available here that are being given in test 1. If you don't take a gap, then what will happen is, let's say I figured 7 arguments, 7 points, one good introduction, one good conclusion. Automatically, my mind will just replicate those, copy those into my final test. That will not help. The moment you take a gap of 3 4 hours minimum of, let's say you started in the morning and then you're taking the test in the evening, you're taking a big gap of 12 hours, that makes sure that whatever points you have internalized, only those points are now being shown, are now visible in the final essay. तो आपको खुद ही पता लग जाएगा, you will automatically come to know, okay, these are the points that I could internalize and these are the points that I need to revise again because I did not remember them only with a gap of 12 hours. Okay. After a gap of 3 4 hours, you can take the test without revisiting the research points written by you. Very important, don't revisit the points. Revisit the points only after you are done with the test to see how have you performed. Okay. Uh, for an example has been given here. Research on all the essay topics given below in the morning. After you're done with the research, move to another subject for the rest of the day. In the evening, pick up the English test again and this time attempt the test in 1.5 hours or 60 minutes as the case may be. Okay. Now let's jump directly into the test for today. There are three essay topics. Number one, the COVID crisis. There can be an essay connecting COVID crisis because it's a huge thing, whether economic or social or uh, international or health related, education related, it might be anything. This time in this test, I have connected COVID with health. Has lifted the curtain of a struggling health system in India. What steps are required to develop a universally accessible and quality health system in India? Okay. Second is complete capital account convertibility, threats and opportunities. Third one is economic implications of demographic dividend and demographic liability in India. So these are the three essay topics that we have. आपको इन पे research करनी है. I will be discussing a detailed essay on all the three topics so that you understand कि किस तरह से लिखना होता है. Okay. Then there is a Prezi of 30 marks, and then there are two questions. And these are the two questions of 15 marks each, and you have to write answers of these two questions based upon the above paragraph only. Okay. So let's first of all start with the essays, and then we'll come to the Prezi and the comprehension. The first essay topic was we have to identify keywords. Our first objective is identify keywords, right? So the essay topic was COVID crisis has lifted the curtain of a struggling health system in India. So this is our keyword, struggling health system in India or health system in India. What steps are required to develop a universally accessible, which means accessible to everyone? Second is quality health system in India. क्या क्या steps लेने हैं जिससे कि you can have a qualitative health system and accessible to everyone. Okay. In short, how to improve our health system. That's what you can shorten it to. The keyword here is COVID crisis focused has lifted the curtain of a struggling health system in India. So this is the next keyword. First keyword and second keyword. This second keyword can be your introduction. You can say you can prove with a fact as to why or how can we say that our health system is struggling in India. Okay, and then there is the body part which will consist of points to ensure a universally accessible and qualitative health system in India. Okay. इंट्रोडक्शन से स्टार्ट करते हैं. Of course you have to keep it in mind whenever we are writing talking about anything descriptive, whether it is an essay or it is an answer. You don't have to mug up whatever I've just written. You don't have to copy it. You have to understand what is the gist behind it. Why have I written something like this? Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm writing how can we say that the health system in India is struggling at the moment. That is what I'm focusing upon. Okay, the COVID outbreak has pushed India's healthcare sector into ICU, infrastructure inadequacies, shortage of human resources, lack of adequate funding, and huge interstate and interregional variations in the availability of health services have been the major impediments in India's containment strategy. India's public expenditure, this is where I prove India's public expenditure on health as a percentage of GDP is a little over 1%, one of the lowest in the world according to National Health Accounts estimate. What am I doing here? I am providing credibility to my fact, to my argument through two things. Number one, I'm not just saying that India's expenditure on health is one of the lowest in the world, I'm proving it with a fact. So, fact number one provides credibility. We have already discussed it before. And what else provides credibility? Usage of any third party, whether it is a report or let's say a committee or any body which has come out with certain fact. It tells them that you are not saying that India is one of the lowest public health expenditures in the world. National Health Accounts estimate is saying this. Okay. A higher funding is also the first of the many steps. First of the many steps. Okay. I have mentioned that. This means now I'm trying to connect my intro with my body, because in my body I'm going to talk about various steps that can be taken in order to improve the shattered health system. Okay. Now, what are those steps? Number one, India's healthcare system is too dependent on the private sector. The first step is universal accessibility. कैसे होगी? The moment you work on strengthening the public healthcare system, which is exploitative, unregulated, and expensive even for the middle class. WHO's health financing profile shows that close to two-thirds of expenditure on health is out of pocket. The world average is 18.2%. Again, credibility of this argument through a fact. How can you say that the private sector is exploitative, unregulated, and expensive? Because of such a heavy out of pocket expenditure. That is how we are proving it. Over 63 million Indians are faced with poverty every year due to health costs alone, according to government estimates. In order to create a universally accessible healthcare, now I'm connecting my point with what is being asked in the question. The question asks, how can your healthcare system be universally accessible and qualitative? Well, this is how. It is imperative to rebuild the public health infrastructure so that private sector acts like an available option, not the only option available. Okay, that is how I have concluded this. Second point. So first point is that the public sector should be dominant in the health sector. The private sector should be one of the options available. Okay. Availability of qualified doctors and beds in emergency cases is another problem in Indian healthcare infrastructure, both physical and human infrastructure. So we are not just lacking qualified doctors, we are also lacking physical infrastructure. There are only zero point 0.7 hospital beds per 1000 people in India. Again, I'm supporting my argument with a fact to provide credibility to the argument. This is something that you can do while you're practicing. Of course, you might not be able to put in so many facts in the final answer, in the final examination, but if you don't practice, you will not be in any case be able to do it. If you practice, you might be able to do it in the final exam. Let's say आपके फाइनल एग्जाम में हेल्थ पे ही क्वेश्चन आ गया, सो नाउ यू नो, ओके, आई रिमेंबर दीज फैक्ट्स, मैंने ये 6 महीने पहले पढ़े थे, आई हैव रिवाइज देम बिफोर द एग्जाम. यू आर you will be able to replicate it. That's the objective of practicing essays. Okay. There are only zero point 0.7 hospital beds per 1000 people in India, with variations across states. According to One World Bank, again, credibility to my fact again. Similar is the case with physicians, where India has 0.857 doctors per 1000 people. In order to make a strong and vibrant healthcare, it is important to invest in physical as well as human infrastructure. Despite availability of well qualified young people who are willing and able to become doctors, limited seats in medical colleges forces youth out of the profession. So the solution has been provided. Increase seats in medical colleges, let people study medicine on a mass scale. It has also made medicine profession highly competitive and vulnerable to corruption. There is an urgent need to convert a young population into qualified doctors in large numbers. Okay, it's very easy. Why so much competition to get into IITs? Why so much competition to get into MBBS colleges? Because the number of seats are not good enough. You have such a large population, you need to use that population. Unko opportunities do. Okay, provide them opportunities to become qualified doctors. I'm not saying that you take in people or students who are not qualified enough. Take in students after a rigorous test, but take in more number of students, because all those students who are left out are also qualified or also uh, good enough to become very qualified doctors. But because of such a heavy competition, because of such limited seats, they're not able to become a part of the medicine profession. Okay. Due to easy availability of medicines over counter, the Indian medicine system has become too dependent on curative healthcare. So the third point is curative versus preventive healthcare. Advanced countries like Kingdom have improved the overall health of its people by focusing on preventive healthcare. Okay, the focus in India needs to shift from over medication towards a healthy lifestyle. So over medication is a very major problem in India, and over medication is also resulting into uh, what is it called as antimicrobial resistance. Yes. So you have resistant bacteria, resistant TB, resistant various other kinds of diseases. How are they so resistant? Because we are over medicating ourselves. Why are we over medicating? Number one, healthcare system is expensive. Number two, medicines are easily available. बुखार होता है, पैरासीटामोल जाके खा लेते हो. You don't let your body fight इन फर्स्ट इंस्टेंस. डॉक्टर के पास जाओगे, मेडिसिन दे देगा. डॉक्टर हिमसेल्फ इज नॉट focusing on preventive healthcare, preventive system. Okay, so those are the major problems. Due to collusion between pharma, why is this happening? Collusion between pharma companies, doctors, and insurance companies. A healthcare based on medication and hospitalization has become the norm. This is the gist, or this is the core of the problem. The fourth point is primary healthcare through health and wellness centers can reduce the financial and psychological burden on families. Presently, the system is too focused on tertiary healthcare. That is what Delhi is trying to change by making the healthcare system more focused on primary healthcare through mohalla clinics. Okay, that is the core. Sorry, one second. How do I remove Siri? I don't know. Okay, let it be there. It will go away. Okay, so primary healthcare through mohalla clinics, that is one of the way of trying to shift focus from tertiary healthcare towards primary healthcare. Okay, okay, now it's gone. According to National Health Policy 2017, health centers be established on geographical norms apart from population norms. तो ये पूरा मैंने population policy health policy से उठाया है, ये आप पढ़ सकते हैं. You can go through this. Okay. The next point is malnutrition, very important. Especially micronutrient deficiencies restricts survival, growth and development of children. Empowerment of ASHA and Anganwadi workers at local level through regular training, proper infrastructure, awareness programs can help in micronutrient supplementation, etc. etc. The focus here is just like the success of midday meal scheme, we need to empower ASHA workers, Anganwadi workers so that there is no malnutrition among children. क्योंकि वो जो malnutrition children होते हैं, they are forever dependent on the healthcare system. Number one, तो dependency बढ़ रही है healthcare system पे without any reason. Number two, they are not able to turn themselves into productive citizens of the country. Okay. COVID-19 has brought to attention the importance of universal immunization. So this is the last point जो मैंने connect किया है COVID and healthcare system पे. And I have mentioned that you can refer to National Healthcare Policy 2017 from where I have picked majority of these points. Okay. I hope that's good enough. सेकंड पे आते हैं, मोर टेक्निकल टॉपिक, कंप्लीट कैपिटल अकाउंट कन्वर्टेबिलिटी थ्रेट्स एंड अपॉर्चुनिटीज. सो द इंट्रोडक्शन कीवर्ड इज वेरी क्लियर. Capital account convertibility, you can talk about that. The body is also clear. You talk about threats and you talk about the opportunities emanating from a complete capital account convertibility. Okay. Capital account convertibility implies, तो कैपिटल अकाउंट कन्वर्टिबिलिटी का मतलब क्या होता है वो यहाँ पे डेफिनेशन डाला है. फ्रीडम ऑफ करेंसी कन्वर्जन रिलेटेड टू कैपिटल इनफ्लोज एंड आउटफ्लोज. Compared to current account convertibility, capital account convertibility is a complex issue because of peculiar feature of capital account transactions. An important one is, I've given an example to explain this, high frequency volume of international capital movements. Capital account convertibility is thus the freedom of foreign investors to purchase Indian financial assets and that of domestic citizens to purchase foreign financial assets. Example दिया है. A brief history I have provided here. If the space allows, then you can mention it. Otherwise, you can skip it altogether. India allowed complete current account convertibility in phases, but it has since maintained limitations on capital account convertibility. As of 2021, under liberalized remittance scheme, there is capital account convertibility up to 250,000 US dollars. Okay. Then I'm connecting it with the body, many advantages and threats from complete capital account convertibility. What are the advantages? Sign of stable and mature markets. Free hai entry and exit. Anyone can now come and invest in India. Anyone, if I want to buy, let's say, a land in Dubai, then I can convert INR into whatever the currency of Dubai is. If I want to buy a land or let's say a stock in huge quantities in the US, I can do so very easily if there is capital account convertibility. So it opens up the markets and creates a stable and mature market in the world, at the world level, at the international level. However, there are downsides. अभी advantages की बात कर रहे हैं, so I'm focusing only on the positive aspect. Okay. Would increase the risk of losing regulatory control due to large market size and huge flow of capital. Opening up to a fully convertible currency is a solid sign that a country and its markets are stable and mature enough. तो उससे क्या होगा? It is trying to say that it might attract more and more investments into the economy because it is sending a sign that your economy is now strong enough to take over complete capital account convertibility. Okay. Increase liquidity in financial markets. I have provided credibility here through my research कि तारापुर कमेटी ने ये बोला था. Complete capital account convertibility can open up a country's markets to global players. This allows easy access of capital through FDIFI. मैं एक बैंक हूँ या फिर I am an enterprise. I want access to international capital. I can get that if there is complete capital account convertibility. If there is no complete capital account convertibility, I'm limited myself to either the domestic market or I'm accessing the international market through instruments like ADR, IDR. I hope you understand what ADR, IDR, GDR are. Okay. Third is control over inflation. According to Tarapur committee, capital account convertibility से क्या होगा? Supply side bottlenecks कम होंगे. How? Let's say uh, लेट्स से अभी फार्मर ने किसी गांव में उगाया धान उगाया. ओके. ही इज प्रोड्यूस लेट्स से wheat or rice and he wants to move it to the city. Presently, as per the government, 35% of our produce is wasted in transit because of absence of a good cold storage supply system. ओके, कोल्ड स्टोरेज सप्लाई सिस्टम नहीं है, उसकी वजह से वेस्ट हो जाता है बहुत सारा, टमाटर वेस्ट हो गया, पोटैटोज बीइंग वेस्टेड, अनियन बीइंग वेस्टेड इन सप्लाई. ओके, that will not happen if there is a strong supply, cold storage based supply system. How will that happen? That can happen very fast if the international companies invest in these infrastructure developments. Okay, so the supply side bottlenecks can be resolved through higher investment and higher production in the country. Okay, so when there are limited supply side bottlenecks, then it can also reduce inflation in the economy. Every year we see inflation if in the food sector if there is not good enough rainfall. We see inflation whenever there is an off season for anything or if there is an erratic rainfall. All those things will not happen if there is a good supply system or if there is a modern agriculture system available in the country, okay, which presently is very dependent on rainfall, and at the same time very primitive in nature. Okay, but at the same time there are also disadvantages to complete Kaplan convertibility. First one is exchange rate volatility. Abhi 80 hai, tomorrow it can be 90, day after tomorrow it can be 100. So there can be strong depreciation and appreciation of rupee because now you're losing control over the movement of rupee even more. And with that, what will happen? Because we are very heavily dependent on necessary imports like crude oil, that can increase our vulnerability to the international movement of crude oil even more. Okay, तो उससे क्या होता है, the stability of the exchange rate and the stability of the country might be, economic system might be affected. Second is balance of trade exports. A rising unregulated rupee makes Indian exports less competitive in the international markets. Because of fluctuation, the competitiveness of the exports might be diminished. Okay. According to the governor of RBI, this is a latest statement which RBI governor came out with, I think, in March 2021. So I've put it here. India will continue to approach towards capital account convertibility as a process rather than an event, which means that it cannot be liberalized completely in one go. In the present scenario, the level of liberalization is in sync with the need of India's forex market. This is what he said. ये मैंने यहाँ पे replicate करके I have completed the essay. Okay, I hope this is clear. किस तरह से लिखा है? Not, do not focus on what I have written. Do your own research. Focus upon how I have approached an essay. Okay, there might be more points also. I have tried to provide an essay as much closer to the reality as possible, not writing 1,000 word essay or a 2,000 word essay. Okay, you can do your own research. Economic implications of demographic dividend and demographic liability. So demographic dividend or liability क्या होता है, demography क्या होती है, that will be our introduction, and our body will have positive as well as negative implications of demographic dividend and demographic liability. So I've started very basic with the meaning of demography, the study of human population, their size, composition and distribution, and its development over time. India's demography, मैं directly इसमें कूद गया हूँ. How India's demography can be a dividend or can be a liability for us. Okay, it is at a unique turning point. India has 62.5% of its population in the age group of 15 to 59, which is ever increasing, and the peak will be reached at around 2036 when it will be around 65%. A higher, how is it a dividend? A higher working population means more production, more productivity for the nation as a whole, and low dependency rate. However, this advantage can turn into a liability if not managed well. Unskilled labor force, lack of employment, lack of quality education, gap between education curriculum and demand of industry, gender discrimination can affect the productivity. So now it can become a liability. I hope that's clear. तो ये मैंने intro में clear कर दिया. What is demography? What is demography dividend? What is demographic liability? There are positive implications if the demographic advantage is converted into dividend, but negative implications if it turns into a liability. तो positive implications कैसे होंगे? Number one, better economic growth. Economic growth बढ़ेगा. If your demography is a dividend, then your growth will go up. How? Labor force बढ़ेगा, so that and there will be more productivity of the labor force. Increased fiscal space created by demographic dividend to divert resources from spending on children to investing in physical and human infrastructure. Dependent people, children and old people. The government can divert funds from these people towards investing in physical and human infrastructure for the young productive workforce. Okay, if the demographic dividend is high. Rise in women's workforce, that naturally accompanies a decline in fertility. तो women का workforce बढ़ेगा तो fertility कम होगा, and more growth. Okay, increase in savings rate as the working age also happens to the prime period for saving. So you're working, that means you will also be saving for the future. तो आपका saving rate बढ़ेगा. Okay. Rapid industrialization and urbanization. Second point, because of higher number of employment seeking population that would force higher economic activities. Industrialization will increase, urbanization will increase, workforce will increase. तो ये सारी चीज़ें आपको इंडस्ट्रियलाइजेशन में हेल्प करेंगी. Negative implications, dependency rate will increase, crime rate is expected to increase or increases if this population which is young, which has aspiration, is left out to fend for themselves without any support. For example, Jamtara is the biggest example जो आप दे सकते हो in Jharkhand, a region which has turned into a liability for the nation, uh, known for its cyber frauds. What has happened here? Because people did not have opportunities, the youth did not have opportunities, they got into crime, criminal activities at a mass scale. Industrial collapse, industries को क्या चाहिए? लोग चाहिए काम करने के लिए. You cannot have industries which are completely capital intensive. You need skilled workforce. So if that is not available, the industrial system will collapse and the savings rate will go down. Completely economic or technical point. Okay, and then I have concluded how India can turn its demography into a dividend rather than a liability. Okay, so these are all the essays. I hope you will be able to write them well now and you will be able to check them on their own. Presi आप देखेंगे तो I'm not going to go through the entire Presi. Let me take you to the conclusion of the Presi, or to the Presi of the paragraph, the structure that I have created, so that you are able to understand how to structure your paragraph into a Presi. तो paragraph में कुछ बात की गई है. What I've done is, before writing any Presi, I structure it like this. Okay, and I would request कि आप भी ऐसे एक rough structure, create a rough structure like this before writing a Presi. What you do in the rough structure is you convert your entire paragraph into number one points, and you also determine the sequence. So there are two things that you're doing here. You are converting everything into points so that you can write it in your own words. अगर अपने points में नहीं डालोगे तो अपने words में नहीं लिख पाओगे. Okay, and number two, it also provides a good sequence. Okay, the sequence will not be clear to you and also to the examiner if you don't put it before starting with the writing of the Presi. So what I've done here is I have sequenced it through these points. Number one, water problem in India. Why the water problem exists? Over dependence on monsoon, not only for water. Monsoon determines the growth of stock market and consumption in the country. Over usage of groundwater. These are problems in India. Solutions being implemented, water diversion scheme. Small steps being ignored, rainwater harvesting, check dams and drip irrigation. तो तीनों बातें एड्रेस करी हैं. What is the water problem? What are the solutions which are being implemented and what are the solutions which are being ignored? बहुत अच्छा सीक्वेंस बना दिया. प्रॉब्लम क्या है, सोल्यूशन क्या है, सोल्यूशन क्या लिया जा रहा है, और एंड द सोल्यूशन विच इज नॉट बीइंग टेकन विच शुड बी टेकन. ये तीनों की बात करी है. ओके, so that is how I have compressed the entire paragraph into a Presi. Okay. Now let's come to the uh, RC questions which are based upon the same paragraph. The question says importance of monsoon in India. Importance क्या है monsoon की? Number one, growth of stock market, consumption, level of crop production, growth levels of the country. 4 points I have mentioned before writing the answer, and based upon these 4 points I will write the answer. Answer should be somewhere around 100 to 150 words. Try to gather as many points as possible as given in the paragraph itself, because that will make sure that you don't get less marks. Do not write an answer in 25 words or 50 words. थोड़ा सा comprehensive होना चाहिए. Okay, 100 words, 150 words, it gives a perspective, gives space for you to explain the answer as well. The second question is, what steps are being taken to resolve the water crisis in India? कौन-कौन से steps लिए जा रहे हैं? So here you talk about the steps that are being taken, and you can also talk about steps that should be taken but they are not being taken. Okay, in order to lengthen your answer, थोड़ा सा लंबा करने के लिए, it's a peripheral thing that you're talking about. Solutions being implemented, water diversion scheme as per the RC, strictly. So small steps being ignored, rainwater, check dams and drip irrigation directly taken from the structure of the Presi. तो इस तरह से the moment you have structured the paragraph into a Presi, if the reading comprehension is based upon the same paragraph, it reduces your time as well because you know how to structure your answers now if the answer is based upon the same paragraph. Okay, I hope through this English essays explanation or analysis, you will be able to check your own essay yourself and at the same time analyze it well on your own critically and understand where are you making mistakes and how can you work on those mistakes. Okay, guys, all the very best. Take care. Bye bye.